We are here today at Maricopa County Animal Care and Control with a group of people who are protesting for rights and animal shelter here. We are extremely upset about the current situation and how many dogs being euthanized and treated inhumanely. Debbie, who is the director of this establishment here, is killing so many young dogs that have absolutely no behavior issues. They're all friendly, they're all good dogs. And her argument is that intake of dogs are increasing, which is not true. The data shows that from 10 years ago, from 2014, the intake of the dogs was over 38,000. And now in 2024, it was over 17,000. So you can see that it's significantly increased, nearly doubled, as well as population of Phoenix and state of Arizona also increased. So there's more homes to be adopted, but those dogs don't even get a chance. Also, data shows the euthanization rate grew by 18% from 2024 and 2023. So that shows you that new director definitely doing a good job of saving animals. And today we want to share some personal stories. I also foster dogs and rescue dogs, and one of my story is that I submitted paperwork for priority dog, and the same morning there was nobody to process my paperwork. So when I called the shelter, that dog was killed already. And you can see that mentally and emotionally it's really affecting public and many people who are disturbed and extremely upset. I'm here today with Yelena, who was a volunteer for 5 years, and she wants to share her story and what happened to her.
Hi, my name is Elena. I used to be a volunteer in Maricopa County West Shelter. I was fired as a volunteer for trying to save and speak up for innocent dogs. My story about West Shelter, they're not friendly with volunteers. Volunteers are the most important people in a shelter, but they would not let volunteers do anything, and they control volunteers and they fire them eventually.
So tell them, why were you fired? What did you do?
My story was about one dog. Dog was in a medical wind and he was hit by a car. And there was a sign in a cage, "Don't move me, I have a broken hip." I came on Monday, I saw this. I came on Tuesday, dog was in the same position, and lots of feces around and nothing been done for dog. I came on Wednesday, and dog exact same position, covered in feces. So I start questioning medical personnel why nothing been done for this dog. And next things I know, I was escorted from shelter, and I was told never come back. I got restraining order, and pretty much that's it. But I know dog was saved by rescue.
So as you can see, poor animal was suffering in pain with no medical assistance, no help. And just because they were waiting for 72 hours that somebody will come forward and claim the dog, and they were just waiting for that time. Since nobody came and claimed the dog, they were planning on killing anyway. So that's the very inhumane treatment of animals.
Yes, I'm here today. My name is Kyle Brady. I'm kind of taking a back perspective of the whole system here. There's several things that I'm very angry about. Number one is the lack of transparency. The intake rule, which is in breach of contracts with all the cities that pay so much money into the cities. Basically, Maricopa County Animal Control is putting the responsibility back onto the citizens. You can find 3 strays, and when you go to turn them in, there's no room. Also, the way that the dogs are brought in, wagging tail, there's no reason for those dogs to be killed. These are healthy dogs. They're not even given a chance to be shown or adopted. And I believe there's serious corruption. The money that is supposed to go here for the care of the animals All the money the cities pay, they have contracts with. That is non-transparent. We don't know how much money is going to the care. We don't know how much money is going to management exactly. We don't know how much money is maybe going into the Board of Supervisors' pockets. So the allocated funds that cities are contracted, Mesa, Phoenix, all the surrounding cities within Maricopa County, they should be upset. The city council members should be upset. The mayors need to get involved. This is corruption. This is corruption, and it's misallocation of tax funds. Regarding the shelter itself, they are labeling dogs' behavior that are wagging their tails, answering commands, receiving treats. They put a behavior sticker on it. That dog is dead within a few days. So this could be someone's pet. This could be any dog. So I'm here just to demand transparency, and I want answers. For example, I work with a lot of rescues, E-list rescues that work tirelessly to pull dogs out from the E-list. They cannot locate dogs sometimes. You can have 4 different people call, where is this dog, what's the status? You'll get 4 different answers. It's meant to be confusing, it's meant to deceive, and I want transparency. Even if you're not an animal lover or a dog lover, your tax money is being dumped into this facility, but you don't know where it goes. Other organizations within Maricopa County, there's a paper trail. You can see there's a pie chart. This is a big black hole.
Hi, my name is Helen and I'm an Arizona native, and one of the problems I have with the shelter system is when we have networkers who tirelessly day in and day out all night long, they network these animals to get them out alive, and we've got a foster, we've got a rescue to pull them, and yet the dog still ends up dead. And I just don't understand why the shelters cannot provide a little bit more time, whether it be a few hours or a half a day, 24 hours. We're not asking for too much. We just want to see these dogs leave alive.
I've had about 5 rescues from East and West. Really didn't know what was going on until networking with the social medias to just see why all these dogs are going down. I guess the issue that's the biggest thing is communication. When there are resources that are available, we're in a very unique situation right now as taxpayers. We have a lot of leverage, as many people see on TV. These dogs need the affection and help from people in the community. Now, if we have that, but there's no dialogue on the back end, essentially that's where we're at right now. There have been many people, regardless if they know the director personally, have worked here or not, expressed concern. My biggest concern that I've seen on the end is the following. Why are there so many dogs that are listed as behavior when we really don't know what that means? Why are we using potentially outdated COVID and other practices from 5 years ago? Why are other sister shelters in the state of Arizona are doing just as good, if not better, with less resources? And finally, why can't we all just come to some type of a neutral agreement that makes sense? If there's no extra burden on the taxpayers and private as well as volunteers are able to step up, all we're asking for is more transparency. Why do most people in the state of Arizona that are looking for a puppy have no idea about the portal? Why do people not understand why a dog is a New Hope rescue only? Why are dogs that are being told are perfectly fine when they are out and about and then degrade during kennel stress are labeled and deemed on the E-list because there is no behavior team or one has been disbanded? Now, we have been getting a lot of feedback from volunteers, including this morning, about the shock value of a lot of our recent posts on the actual official page and other pages. What we're trying to do is make sure people are aware that just as much as the good things that are going on here, there are very much concerning things that are going on. Why is a taxpayer-funded position of a director of a county shelter getting paid almost $250,000 and we do not have access to the work behind that? All we're asking for is essential communication and accountability. If anyone else in public office is failing at the rate that we believe the director is failing, they would not be in position. They would probably be recalled. I personally don't feel the same way as a lot of people here because I don't know the director. I don't know Miss Debbie. I do know that a lot of people, from the county manager to district county attorney, they all love her. So she seems like a good human being. What we're asking her to do is to help us. We don't want to get rid of her and have someone else just continue on. The biggest issue is, can we have an opportunity of dialogue to give these dogs a better ratio to leave? And then I'll leave with this. These facilities here are supposed to allow these dogs to rehabilitate after being felled by human beings. Now, if the whole point of these facilities is to rehabilitate the animal, if we can rehabilitate the animal and discharge the animal alive, why not do that? And if we present either revenue neutral or revenue generating options, we believe that the county attorney and all the board of supervisors that we're fighting for should at least listen. It is, as they say, it's the Doge era. So maybe we're trying to do that here for the dogs. Thank you.
Not only are dogs being labeled behavior for no reason, and they're set straight to the E-list, they're sent straight to be killed, but also there are dogs that are suffering from fear. It's a very horrific environment, most shelters are, but this shelter, this system, Maricopa County system, is the only system I know of, and I've researched, that limits the amount of volunteers. They limit the amount of volunteers. They have zero transparency. They want no one. I have heard from volunteers they don't let cameras in certain wings. Right behind me is empty kennels, and those kennels were filled for maybe a few days, and now they're euthanized. And these are healthy dogs.
And it's all about education. We want the community and the public to know that there is a time and a place for euthanization, but the amount of euthanizing that is going on in our shelters right now are scared young dogs under the age of 4, as young as 6 months old, being killed, and they're happy, wiggly, healthy dogs, non-aggressive, no bite histories, nothing like that. I, in fact, pulled a dog that was super scared, stuck in her kennel for 18 days without even getting outside, and they were going to kill her. And within hours, I pulled her, and she is now the happiest, loving dog, and she is in an adopted home because I pulled her, worked with her for a month, and she was perfect. So they're killing scared dogs. I'd be scared too if I was locked in a kennel. I'm just a community member that is tired of seeing good, healthy animals die for no reason.
I have frequently gone to Maricopa County Board of Supervisor meetings. Mr. Hickman himself said at a meeting that Phoenix and the metro area grew from 3 million people to 5 million people. What have we done for the dogs for that? Closed the East Shelter that was larger than the new one they built in the East Shelter. That's it.
Hi, I first got involved in this issue a year ago when I adopted a euthanasia listed dog who was labeled behavioral and non-adoptable, and she, like others have said, has come into our home and out of this stressful environment is a sweet, fun dog. So at that point, I looked at this system of volunteers, this network that actually was able to get that dog out of the shelter and into my home. And it's a brilliant network of volunteers. New Hope Partners are the rescues that are able to pull these dogs. There's a huge volunteer network of people like myself and a lot of people here on social media who spend countless hours looking for adopters and fosters for these at-risk dogs. The more I've got involved, the more I see what incredible community of dog advocates exists in our area. And one of the things that I've been most appalled by, in addition to the lack of transparency, contrary to what some other people say, I do not have a very high opinion of the current director based on the response that a lot of advocates have had being ignored for issues going on in the shelter. I've met a couple of longtime volunteers who volunteered for 5 years, 10 years, one of them that I spoke with, who when they brought up issues about the care and the safety of animals, were not only banned from volunteer work, I heard one had a restraining order. Now, what doesn't make sense is that all of this euthanasia, from what we've heard from previous board members, goes back to keeping the shelter at a number that is attainable for proper care, but they're not utilizing the community to help save these dogs. What we've seen is a response that is pushing the community out and increasing the euthanasia list. The lack of transparency I've seen from some very data-driven advocates. I want to say in December, just euthanized dogs that were not even put on the portal were over 70, if I remember from Changemakers correctly. And then, of course, the portal of these priority dogs that the volunteers are trying to save over the holiday week, the portal was slammed with, I think at one point we had 18 to 20 a day, a couple days in December over the holidays when the volunteers, I guess, were being utilized, but in a very manipulative way. So what I've seen is a lack of transparency, a lack of inability for this director to work with the community. This is our county shelter. This is taxpayer money. This represents us as a county. We should have total transparency from this county and transparency from the Board of Supervisors. I know many people here, like myself, have written countless emails to the Board of Supervisors. I think of 12 emails I sent last year. I got one pretty canned response about how well they were doing in the shelters. So with this new Board of Supervisors, we're hoping that there's some actual change. I know Mark Stewart in District 1 came onto one of our advocacy sites and said that he would work for this district in helping the animals, and even showed us his rescue dogs in his backyard when he was talking about helping us with these animals. So I'm really hoping, since this is my district, that he honors his pledge to his constituents. At the same time, I do believe part of the way of getting this Board of Supervisors on board is to talk dollars to them. We all want good care and good humane treatment for these animals. If we have to talk dollars, I'm going to be sending them a proposal suggesting, with some statistics, how much money the volunteer community could represent in hours of volunteer work, where Debbie McKnight has been pushing volunteers out, pretty much, from what I heard, shut down the volunteerism during that biggest crisis of overcrowding last summer. My proposal is going to be that we have a new director or two new co-directors to work to give more value to the taxpayer's dollar by creating networking and relationships that could be utilized to really solve this problem within the community. There are so many people who care about dogs. The fact that we're not being utilized it just makes no sense. It's counterintuitive. So I hope we can say goodbye and start fresh for the dogs.
So we are all out here because we need Debbie McKnight to realize she is killing good dogs. She needs to listen to the community. She needs to listen to her rescue partners. She needs to listen to the volunteers. It is inhumane how these dogs are being kept here. They are not getting out of their kennels. They are not being assessed. Then they're being put up for euthanasia when they don't deserve it. These innocent one-year-old dogs, puppies, 10-week-old puppies are all being euthanized. My rescue takes these dogs, we save them from the euthanasia list, and we take them into boarding, and these are the highly adoptable dogs. I work with behavior dogs. I don't have a single behavior dog in my rescue for the last year since Debbie McKnight has been around. All my dogs are easy puppies that are so easy to place into homes. She is euthanizing the wrong dogs. She is not giving any dog a chance. The community, people need to be aware of what is going on. If you surrender your dog here, there is not a second chance. She will euthanize that dog. It is not fair, and we need people to start standing up and realizing Debbie McKnight needs to go.
I want to thank our community coming today, supporting this cause and standing side by side with all these posters, asking for change. And I am so grateful for all the volunteers, all the networkers, all the rescuers who are pulling those poor animals and saving their lives. And we're all here sharing the same goal. Our goal is honestly to decrease euthanization rate and increase the safe rate, which is not what's happening currently. The data shows that euthanization rate went up, intake of dogs went down, and the safe rate went down as well. So I'm encouraging everyone to get involved, to volunteer, to adopt a dog, to come to the shelter, to spend your time wisely and support this cause. Thank you.